so long it's like alchemy.
Kyrie figuring out maybe the earth isn't flat when you don't play with LeBron. Boston struggling early after the Hayward injury, but the Knicks chicken soup for everybody. Look at Tatum climb the invisible ladder, put back slam. And this Knick roster, y'all, is rough, man. Defensively, their wings, they can't guard their shadows. Jaylen Brown taking full advantage. He's like, huh? What? I keep a pump in my lap at all times. How about 18 points for the second year forward, ready to shine, filling the new role with Gordon Hayward out. And then Kyrie puts McDermott in the blender. And Doug McDermott, he looks like when you hurt your player in 2K and you leave him on the floor, just stuck in mud. That's not right. I don't know how much longer he's going to be in the NBA. The Knicks roster could not hit a three till the fourth quarter. Courtney Lee driving Tatum, 1 of 2 blocks, had 4 steals. And then is there any kind of transition defense? No, none whatsoever. The lob, coast to coast, Tatum making himself feel good as they should against this Knicks team. Kyrie, 22, 8 assists. Jaylen Brown in the corner was going and flowing all night, 24 points. Probably the most impressive player on the floor for both sides. And the one bright spot for the Knicks, I would say, is Enes Kanter had like 18 rebounds, but it was just because of how many bricks the Knicks were throwing up. And I just don't know how they're going to defend. You got Courtney Lee playing the 3. Look at McDermott out here in the post. Stuck in mud, spin baseline jam. Jaylen Brown, as this was a blowout from the start, and Boston moves to 2-2. The Knicks, I don't know when they're going to get a win, y'all. Yeah, man, so that was, not the most entertaining game as far as competitiveness goes. Let's talk about Boston first. Obviously trying to compensate for the loss of Gordon Hayward. So the 2 young players, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, are going to get propelled into the forefront, and they're going to be relied upon a lot more. But this is not necessarily a bad thing long term because it's going to accelerate their growth process. And they looked amazing tonight, right? You watch this game and you go, oh man, Jason Tatum could be rookie of the year and Jaylen Brown most improved. But let's pump the brakes and realize who they're playing. The Knicks, like I said, I don't know if they would win the G League, man. And KP, it was a bad Styles make fights. Al Horford did an amazing job on Kristaps as far as crowding him. He's strong enough, just mobile enough and big enough to really bother KP. Great game plan by Brad Stevens, sending quick help, double teaming and stuff like that. So I wouldn't overreact to the KP performance. He's going to have those, especially with no help, right? Tim Hardaway, he you know what he looks like to me? He looks like a guy who relied on his athleticism for way too long, right? All the way up to the pros. He just doesn't have some of the basic fundamentals you want to see from an NBA player, where he has all the physical tools, but he'll make a drive. He just does some things that are very unfundamentally sound, and he's going through a mental slump as well right now. I don't know how in the hell you play Courtney Lee at small forward on a night in and night basis. Like, I don't know. I guess it's because you can't play McDermott, who I was on record. I liked McBuckets, man. I didn't know he was so immobile. Like, he just can't move at all. I don't see how, I just don't know what they're going to do. And my worry is, who do you run pick and roll with KP? This is a pick and roll league, man. Ramon Sessions and Jarrett Jack are out for theirs, right? They're not pick and roll point guards. They're going to, they'll score double digit points for you, but they're not going to create for anybody else. So the Knicks look like they could be the worst team in the NBA this year. The Knicks and Phoenix, I think, are going to be right there. And like I said, Jaylen Brown is ready to take that step physically. He's a lot stronger than people give him credit for. He's not like the normal second-year player where he still has to grow into his body. He's ready to go right now. I think it would benefit Boston to play a little faster for these young guys. Gordon Hayward, obviously a veteran and just a more tools in the toolbox, can play in the half court with Kyrie. With Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the more they run, the better they will look. And I know it's a balance, it's a fine line. Boston knows what they're doing, man. They've got some sneaky talent on this roster. So a lot of you are familiar with the backup guard, Rozier, right, out of Louisville. And he's got some fire to him, man. He had a big filled the stat sheet. So they have a legit backup point guard in Rozier. No Marcus Smart last night. But this German rookie, Tice, 25-year-old German rookie Tice, looks like he's going to play the Olynyk role. But he's a much better defender than Olynyk, but it looks like they can put him in the corner and he can pop the three. I don't think Boston is going to fall off as hard as some people think without Hayward. I think they're still going to hang right in that 3-4 spot for the remainder of the season, barring they don't no more major injuries. They got to keep Horford healthy, and Tatum hopefully doesn't hit too much of a rookie wall. But the Knicks, man, I just worry for KP. The load that he carries, and the telecast talked about how much stronger he's gotten. I didn't really see it. Again, Horford's a strong, bad matchup for him, but he still looks like he has trouble taking contact, and it knocks him off balance. Kyrie, obviously, they say he's pressing a little bit, and, life without LeBron. Careful what you ask for, you might just get it. He did seem like he was a little more willing to pass the ball, and it's like, I think it's a responsibility thing, right? Where he knows he's the man, he's the guy now, and it's like, oh, these young guys, I'm big bro. I know he said, I liked what he said. That's one of the few things I like that Kyrie said ever, to the media, was he doesn't really do that big bro thing. He respects everybody. And I think that that's a good way of handling things with this generation of player. But I think he is moving the ball a little bit more within Brad Stevens' system. But he's also, there's not as many open, free opportunities, one-on-one ISOs, because, there's just not the talent around him. But he'll be fine adjusting moving forward. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.